and then to introduce me to the virtual stage, and then we'll kickstart the entire masterclass right before we say goodbye to 2024. And the meeting would be recorded. So over to you, Sean. I think the time is about.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello, everyone, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. Welcome to the advanced #Elden Speakers 185 meetings. My name is Sham. I am the search of arm for today's meeting. Before starting the meeting, there are 3 ground rules we need to follow. First, please stay mute unless it is your turn to speak. Second, please turn on your camera for wonderful audience interaction. Third, the meeting will be recorded, and if you are not comfortable to be recorded, you are welcome to turn off your camera, but please stay in the meeting to enjoy. Now, let's give our hand together to welcome our president, Patricia Yap.
Hey, thank you. Quick round of applause to everyone in the room right now. So we're going to kickstart with a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Make some noise and certainly with some hand gestures. And you guys are in for a treat. Today we are going to do a masterclass on body language. And I just want to welcome all of you here to claim your New Year gift. As a matter of fact, we advanced #Ardent Speaker in District 51. We host masterclass every month. And this month is really special because of that. I also invited a very special Toastmaster of the day, who is none other than our very prominent leader, also a club member of our club, but she's also a prominent leader in District 102, the past admin manager, and also the past division director C, all the way from PJ, of course. Okay, we're so happy to have you. Let's give it up to District Toastmaster Fong Suk Hua as our Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, Suk Hua.
Thank you very much, Patricia. Yeah, like what Patricia has said, today is the last week or last Monday of year 2024. It's such an auspicious day to have this speaker to share with us his wisdom today. And today's topic, the power of body language, is something that many of us are interested to master. We are so privileged to have Ferzi with us this afternoon in Malaysia. And of course, every one of you who logged in from near and far, welcome you once again to Advanced #Ardent Speakers Club. For your information, who is Ferzi? For those who is seeing him for the first time, including myself, I felt that, oh, it's a loss for me because I only know him today. But it's also a happy thing because we get to learn from him today. He's a seasoned expert in communication with a wealth of experience in harnessing the subtle yet powerful tool that we all possess, which is body language. So who is Ferzi? If you have seen our club poster, there's a long list of credentials or amazing things that he has achieved. So to keep it short, I would say he was the finalist in World Championship of Public Speaking 2022 and 2024. He's also a prominent speakers coach with 30 years of experience teaching students of all ages. Well, looks like it's from the baby to 100 years old. I think that's not an easy achievement for everyone to do. Other than that, he's also an executive speech coach at Speaking with Ferzi. And with that, let me just give a warm welcome Ferzi on stage. If you have any questions for him, don't worry, he will be able to address your questions in the Q&A session later. So keep your question to the last. And now let's put our full attention to the power of body language by Ferzi. Over to you, Ferzi.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Hello. Oh, we got all the cameras on. This is great. This is great. We will be interactive. And by I mean interactive, I mean I'm going to be watching you and giving you feedback to see if you are mastering the skills that we're talking about. So let's get ready. Yi Shuixin, I think you are the timer. I've just put some timing into the chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Keep me on track. All right, everybody. This is about body language. And we are, oh my gosh, I just got blanked out. Whoa. Nothing hurts body language than being totally shut out by your own visual aid, right? Today, we learn to avoid this. Does everybody know what this is? That's a forklift. That's right. You commonly see this at many meetings when people are gesturing and they do this. I am here to deliver a message, and I gesture like this. And so really, I think I'm telling you something important, but the reality is all I'm telling you is I'm a forklift. So how do we avoid being a forklift? Because no one can believe this, right? You're telling people, hey, everybody, we have hope for the future. It's like, no, what you got is empty hands. What you got is the universal gesture for I don't got it, you know? So we want to avoid this. When I'm coaching folks, I'll let you do this gesture one time. That's it, one time. After that, you've got to explore the universe of gestures. And that's when you realize, I have hands. What should I do with my hands? Do something other than forklift. Let's see if we can get you some ideas for what to do. We're going to start with some warm-ups. Now, I've designed these warm-ups to follow in a particular pattern. And I've also designed them to remind you of everything that we discussed today. All right? So let's get started. We start with the head. Would you go ahead, and if you can, would you go ahead and stand with me? Try not to just, people forget they got headphones on, they're yanked to the wall and they're smacking their cat. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. So we're going to start with the head. Will you go ahead and roll your heads one way? I always love looking at the screen during this part. Everybody looks like, whoa, wow, what did we have for lunch? Okay, and roll your head the other way. Excellent, very good. And now, keeping your head straight up and down, turn to your right, like over your right shoulder. Good, and back forward, and now over to your left. Excellent, there you go. Remember the mug shots you took in the police department? Yeah, it's just like that. Mariana, you know that's a little closer to home than you thought. Excellent. And now, staring straight ahead, would you pivot your head downwards? So you're looking down at your feet. And now back up. Now you're looking at the ceiling. Good. Now here's the tricky one. Pivot down so that your nose is pointing down at your feet, but your eyes are pointing up at the camera. Nose down, eyes up. Yeah. There you go. Now think about what that is. When would you ever do that? Now try tilting a little to the left while you're down and eyes up. When would you need to look at somebody like that? What does this communicate? Now try it the other way. There you go. There you go. Is it Noor? Good job, Noor. Maybe a little bit more forward, Noor. A little bit more forward. There you go, Betty. A little forward. There you go, Robin. Oh, look at Robin. He's like, yeah. Excellent. Good. Go ahead and just shake that off. And now I want you to try something else. A lot of times when people try to do characters, different characters, dialogue in their speeches, they turn all the way sideways, 90 degrees. For you mathematicians, 90 degrees. For you actors, profile. What I want you to consider, because right now you can only see one eye, yes? Try going 45 degrees so that you can actually see both my eyes and I can actually see both your eyes. Give it a shot. 45 degrees. There you go. Robin, even a little bit further away. There you go. Yi Shui Xin, maybe a little towards the camera. Good. Give it a shot. So Kwa, give it a shot. Turning a little bit. Yeah. There you go, Sean. Keep it over. Yeah, go ahead and tilt. There you go. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you. It's being recorded. We'll see you. Yeah. And so what happens is when you only turn 45 degrees, now we can see both eyes and I can see the character so that you don't have to, like, you can put one character here, put another one there, and then another one there. You don't have to turn profile. Once you turn profile, we lose half your face. Right? You just lost 50% of your expressions. By coming here, I can actually still sort of see, and then you can tilt it. Yeah, with our head tilt, because most people keep it right up here. Yes, by tilting, we all of a sudden have all kinds of gestures with our heads, like, oh, really? Are you sure about that? Are you? We can actually engage with the audience. We can actually engage with the audience because when people tilt their head, it tends to be a question. Or, I'm not sure I see things straight, so I see things sideways. Yeah? Go ahead and play with that. Yeah. Sideways, a little bit forward. There you go. There you go. So consider the tilt of the head as we're letting the audience know that what I'm saying is a consideration. I'm seeing something differently, and maybe we're getting the audience to try to do the same. Good. Now here's the next thing we're going to do. And it's not on the TI evaluation form, and yet it should be. Would you go ahead and give me as big a face as possible? And small. And big. And small. That's good. Oh, some of you kind of need to see a little, you got a little something there. Okay, yeah. Okay, so what you want to good. And that was a joke, Helena. I saw Helena going, really? I do? No, that was just a joke. And now your eyebrows. Okay, eyes up, eyebrows up, and down. Up, and down. Now, just one up. I know, it's my favorite emoji. Okay, now the other one up. Excellent, very good. And next, your shoulders. Would you go ahead and hold your shoulders up for me? Ready? Up, 1, 2, 3, and good, and down. And up, 1, 2, 3, and down. Kim, that was very good. Did you all notice how well Kim did that? That's because in math class, teacher would go, Kim, what's the answer? Kim would go, I don't know. Okay, that's actually more of a biographical story on myself. So next, I want you to, again, don't hit the cat. I want you to go ahead and rotate your arms forward. It's a simple warm-up. There you go. And now back. Excellent. Now try one forward and one back. Come on. Some of you are very talented. Lim, go ahead and give it a shot. One forward, one back. Now, Patricia, I got to tell you, I think both your hands are moving forward at different times. And Ishway, you're also doing both forward. Try this. Put both hands up and then slowly move one forward and the other one back. Take it nice and easy. Don't hurt yourself. And then freeze. Now ask yourself, when would you ever need your hands to look like this? When in your speeches would you ever need to direct traffic? When in your speeches would you need to look like a windmill? What do you think, Betty?
I am actually trying to protect
Yeah. Here's a thought. Take your backhand
and protect.
and direct it backwards as if you're pushing the wall back. Yeah. Now move it around in a circle and consider PowerPoint. Right? When you're doing a PowerPoint, instead of staring like this, which we all want to do because we don't want to look at the audience, but you want to keep your face out here and use your hands over here. There you go, Sean. There you go. Yeah? And now, Sean, that's your new career as a weatherman. Over here, it's hot. And then you go to the other side, and over here, it's bloody hot. Now, what are you doing with this hand, Robin? Robin, if we got this hand back here, what's this hand doing? I'll tell you what it's doing. It's directing traffic. It is directing your audience to look at you. Yeah? You're gesturing to them. You're letting them know, I see you. I'm directing this at you, and I'm directing this at you. I can move this hand. It's free to move while this is here. You don't need to look at your PowerPoint. You know what's on your PowerPoint. You made the PowerPoint. So go ahead, keep your hand here. You can look, see, make sure that you're on the right point or decimal, and then use this one to direct. Go ahead, give it a shot. There you go. Limb, there you go. But direct it at the audience. Yeah, we're not just moving for the sake of moving, right? Excellent. You can relax because I know your arms are heavy. Now I'm going to give you a lot of tools today. Don't use all of them on every single speech. Think of it like spices in your kitchen. Would you use every single ingredient you have, every single spice in every single dish? Betty's going, no, what are you, nuts? Exactly, Betty. I am nuts, but that's besides the point. But no, you don't want to use every single spice in every dish. You use certain spices on certain dishes, right, Mariana? There you go, because not everyone wants curry in the dessert. Some people do, and I've had it, and it's very delicious, but not everyone, right, Kim? Kim's like, yeah, excellent, good. So now we've explored a little bit with our hands, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And now what I want you to do is keep your hips in place and rotate just your upper torso. Just your upper torso. Keep your hips in place and rotate just your upper torso. There you go. So Shui Sin, there you go, Shui Sin. There you go. Twist it all the way around. Betty, you may want to not look at the camera, but just twist all the way around and know that we're not going to make fun of you while you're there. You go, Robin. Excellent. Now, twist both your upper and your lower body at the same time, Noor. Twist both your upper and your, there you go. There you go. I don't know how Noor's doing it. She's got a headphone on and she's connected and she's still rocking the house. Good. Keep going. And now for you truly talented people, opposite directions. Your shoulders one way and your hips going the other. Your shoulders one way and your hips going the other. Like you're going to twist off a bottle cap. You know, Helena, like, you know, when you're opening up a beer at 2 a.m. No. she's like, well, not lately. There you go. Upper and lower torso. Look at that. Shui Sin demonstrating. Shui Sin, a little bit more with your hips in the opposite direction. Excellent, Patsy. A little bit more difference, a little bit more difference. Your head is swiveling separately, but now your hip and your shoulders. There you go, Pam. Excellent. Now consider why we would ever need this. Remember this? I've got my shoulders going one way. I've got my hips going the other way. I got my head pivoting. I could be going in 4, possibly 5 different directions at one time. And it's not to say that I have to move them all, but it's nice to know that my head and my shoulders and my hips can move in different directions. No, you don't have to sit in a chair backwards and lean back like I did. You don't have to do that. But it is to say that we want to change this picture so that we don't feel like this is all we do, right? Again, it goes back to this guy. You don't want to look like this guy. Yeah, you don't want to look like that guy. So we want to give ourselves as many opportunities as possible. Next, with your hands and your knees, would you just go with your knees and your feet and just remind yourself that your feet and your knees, they move. Yeah, they move. There you go, Kim. And that you can move from one side of the screen to the other. Now, this seems obvious, but you and I both know that we've been to Toastmaster meetings, and I've seen 1-hour-long presentations where somebody stood in the same spot and they just kept doing this the whole time. They just kept looking at the screen the whole time. So we want to be able to move and do that simply. Yes? So all the warm-ups we just did, it reminds ourselves, go from the top down and move your body. Now, next thing, hands up. You can sit back down if you'd like, or you can stay standing. I'm standing. Now, just your thumbs. And now just your pointer finger. Little kids, you know what they do with that finger, right? Yeah, that's why I don't shake hands with little kids. Okay, middle finger, the most important finger when communicating from car to car in the United States. Excellent. And now the ring finger, right, Sean? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. There you go. He watches. Yep. Okay, pinky finger. Good. All your fingers. Good. Add your wrists. Don't forget your finger. Don't forget your thumb. You already forgot your thumb. Add your wrist both directions, both hands, both directions. Add your elbows. Don't hit your camera. Don't get tangled up in your headphones. You forgot your thumbs. Noor, you forgot your middle finger. Shoulders. Excellent. Now add your head. Fantastic. We have to remember that all the fingers move. We like that. Seriously. I mean, everything I say, you're going, well, duh. But yet, how many times do you see people and they gesture and they're like this, right? Like they're karate chopping people. And listen, Alicia, not everyone was kung fu fighting. I'm just saying. Oh, come on. Right? Come on. Some of these other people don't. Robin might know that song. Robin. Look at Robin. He's like pretending he's drinking coffee. He blows on it to cool it down when it's really gin. Okay. So what we want to do, what we want to do next is consider 3Ds, the 3Ds of physicality and gestures. I'm going to be quiet so you can digest that and take pictures. First one is direction. When we're talking about direction, we're talking about where the direction of our gestures goes. In talking about direction, there are 3 planes. I'm going to put that up there for you to take a picture of. Three planes. I know. Helena's going, I don't see 747 up there. That's my favorite plane. Geometric planes. Geometric planes, Robin. Geometric planes. Here's the first plane. Sagittal. The first plane is sagittal. Draw a line down the middle of your body and use your hands to distinguish it. Here's the line down the middle of your body. We tend to keep the right side and the left side separate. The right hand gestures stay on the right hand and the left stay on the left. What I want you to do is simply take one of your hands and cross over your body. There you go, just like that. Just like that, as if you're slapping yourself. Slap it hard. No. So we're going across our body. You can even turn your body. I don't know how to say your name. Hesmonjit? Hesmonjit? Am I good? Okay.
Hesman. Yep.
Hesman, excellent. Yep. I can do Hesman. Yeah, Hesman, does that make sense? We turn our bodies so that one hand is over on the opposite side. That in and of itself creates more interest for our audience because we're breaking this subliminal plane. Well, it's a physical plane, but you just can't see it, you know. So we're gesturing on the opposite sides and the gestures can go across. Yes? You can even gesture to a wall on this side. We're pivoting our body. And that pivot can be with our feet or that pivot can be with our hips. Like right here is my hips. You can't tell because you only see my top torso, but that's my hips. If you noticed in a lot of artwork, there tends to be tension in their body. You don't see it, but it's because they're creating diagonals. Watch it. Look at artwork and you see diagonals. And that diagonals creates tension. When I'm twisting my body around, that creates tension. Just look at my shoulders. Tension. It's more interesting to look at it. Will you do it on every speech? No. But at certain points, it's the image the audience remembers. Excellent. So that's the sagittal plane. The next plane is the horizontal plane. This plane is across, and it tends to be right here at the shoulders. I'm going to pivot this down, but don't worry, Hesman, I got pants on. So it tends to be here, right where our elbows are, yes? Remember, beep, 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 beep. So what you want to do is break this horizontal plane by raising your hands. It can be even higher than your head. Like here's a horizontal plane, here's a horizontal plane. Raise your hands above your head. Yeah, don't you feel like you're in the United States? Freeze! You know, put both hands up on. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Yeah, okay, that's about as close to rapping as I ever do, Phoebe. How you doing, baby? Okay, so what you want to do is break this horizontal plane. So now the audience thinks, oh, there's something else going on besides traditional, right? What their expectation is. So what reason would you have your hands going in that direction? For what reason might you have your hands going in that direction? Right? Think about that, right, Duncan? Are we talking about the success of our company? Are we talking about how great I feel? Are we talking about the fireworks on New Year's? Does this make sense? Go ahead and we raise our hands all the way up. Yeah, we're raising our hands and we're talking about something that's trajectory going up. Now, in what other way am I breaking the horizontal plane right now? My hands are breaking the horizontal plane, but what else? What else is breaking the horizontal plane?
Ice.
Yes, ice. No. Oh, eyes. Yes, yes, the eyes. Absolutely. Absolutely. My head, my eyes, my hands. So my whole body is breaking that horizontal plane. The audience wants to look at your eyes, and if your eyes are pointing up, they will look up. Yeah? There you go, Hesman. There you go. The audience will look at your eyes. That's what it's attracted to, Helena. And if we look up, then they'll look up. When you've made your audience look up, that keeps them awake. That's the bottom line. Am I keeping you awake? Am I keeping you up? You want your audience to understand that there's something shifting and they don't know what it is. Once the audience knows what you're going to do next, they've tuned out. They've already done this. Right? They've already done that. Come on. Even online, right? It looks like everybody's paying attention, but really it's right about there. So you want to keep them tuned in. They don't know that you're going to do that. They're going to break the horizontal plane. So this is sagittal. This is horizontal. This is the frontal. And you've already been experimenting with the frontal, Betty. Remember when we did this? And we do this, Mariana, not just for the PowerPoint, right? Mariana, why else might we be pointing backwards?
Like time in the past, something happened before.
Absolutely. In the past, what used to be, and then what is, and where I want to be. Yes. How else do we talk about something so abstract like history? In the past, I'm no longer going there. I can even move back on stage or I can move forward, right? If I'm on stage, I can go back, I can go forward. But if I'm stuck in Zoom and I can't move much, then I can simply gesture. All right, so those are the three planes. Sagittal. What's sagittal again? Break the sagittal plane. Go ahead, use your hands, break the sagittal plane. And then horizontal. Oh, that's good, Kim. And how do you break the horizontal plane? Yep, up or down. If you remember in the finals, one of the first things I did is I stood on top of a chair. It breaks the horizontal plane. And then people forget that in the latter part of my speech, I'm sitting on the ground. It again breaks the horizontal plane. It gives an audience a different expectation. Even bending at the knees can give a different expectation, right? You're like, all I see is sort of like a potato halfway in the ground. Okay. All right. So, did you like that, Shui Sin? Some alien. All right. Sagittal, horizontal, frontal. Those are the three planes. Now, all we've covered so far is direction. All we've covered so far is the 3Ds, direction. If you can break the planes, then you're doing well. If you can break more than one plane at the same time with a gesture, then it's far more interesting. If you want to talk about, wow, look where I was, and now look where I am. I can break all three planes. I can go from back to down to up to front to left. Yes? There you go. There you go, Patsy. Make sense? We're breaking different planes as we speak, and that's more interesting to an audience's eye. A lot of it is subliminal, but it is there because that's how we tend to see things. Okay, the second D, duration. Duration, the length of time of our gestures. Think about this. Most times when people gesture, they kind of just go like that. I know because I'm usually trying to take a zoom as VPPR and S in SCOA, right, Patricia? I'm always trying to take pictures of people. And sometimes I can never get them with their hands up because their gestures go whoop, 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 whoop. So I know that people speak just their gestures are within a split second and then they stop. Like their mind says, oh, yeah, feel that. And then they go, oh, and then they go away. I'm just asking you to sustain the gesture. Just like Sean, when you were watching that video, when I came on, you were watching my video, that was it. So do this with me. Put your hand up, and then I'm going to have you drop your hands, but you have to drop it on my count, all right? We're going to start. 5, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, try the other hand, and you're going to go across. Ready? Go. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I'm reaching into the next Zoom square. As long as that gesture sustained, then that idea is sustained. As long as the gesture is sustained, then that idea that you're talking about is sustained. So you can talk about how when I joined Toastmasters, my heart opened up. And then you keep that gesture right out there and you talk to everybody with this hand. Remember, 2 hands can talk. 2 hands can be at the same time. So I can talk, I can discuss, and it's right there. I'm still talking about my heart opening up because it's here. I can still talk about success this year in our company because I can even gesture to my gesture. I can gesture to my gesture. Yeah, there you go. Good. Now, the next thing is dimension, because I know we're at red. I'm so terribly sorry. I've mismanaged my time. Nothing new there. Okay, so here we go. The third D is dynamic. The third D is dynamic. We've done direction, duration, and dynamic. Do this with me, everyone. Your hands are here in front of your shoulders. Oh, that's the other one, by the way. You want to learn to gesture outside of your shoulders. See, this is negative space. This is called negative space, and this is negative space. You want to have your gestures in the negative space because here it's almost as if my hands are camouflaged, right? My hands are camouflaged by my body, but here my hands can be seen against the background. Okay, so do this with me. Just a simple gesture where your hands are coming open and closed. Now imagine this is a 5 out of 10. Yeah? My hands are going about as far to as my shoulders. Now 6, a little bit bigger. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, good. 9, 8. Good, Sukwa. 7. Coming in a little bit, Robin. 6. Good, Kim. 5. We're back to the original limb. 4. A little smaller. 3. There you go, Patricia. A little smaller. 2. Good, Shuisin. 1. It's the same gesture. It's the same gesture, but you've changed the dynamic. Now, here's how we can use it. 2 ways. 1, the space that you're in. If you're on Zoom, maybe this is big enough. But if I'm in a larger space, then I have to go out to here. Yeah? For the back audience to see me, I've got to go out to here. Or my ideas are so big, or the fish that I caught was this big, right? So we want to use that. So that's 1. The second way is this. Imagine you're talking about your most important point, right? Your theme. What is your point to your speech? And you want to say you have to give your heart away. Does that make sense? Would everyone try that with me? You have to give your heart away. Give your heart away. That's very, very simple idea. You have to give my heart away. Now, you have to say your main point at least 3 times in a speech. When are the 3 times? When are the 3 times that you have to say your main point? I'll give you a hint. The first one is the introduction. Right? You got to say it in the introduction. And then the second time?
Middle.
Yeah, in the body, in the middle, in the body. Absolutely, absolutely. And then, of course, you've done it in the intro, the body, and now you're going to do
Conclusion.
The closing.
Conclusion.
conclusion, the summary. Excellent. When you mention your 3 points, when you mention your 1 point 3 times, you create a gesture that matches it. So in the introduction, you say, today we're going to talk about how to give your heart away. That's 5. That's a 5. Yeah, that's a 5. And then in the middle of your speech, you're talking about being in Toastmasters. You say, I learned to give my heart away. I'm at a 10. And then in your conclusion, you say, and so, fellow Toastmasters, which is a phrase I totally hate. Every time somebody says fellow Toastmasters, I feel like, oh, so now you're going to say the most disingenuous thing in the world, aren't you? So what you want to do is, what I've learned is I have to give my heart away. And now maybe it's a 2, a 1 or a 2. You are taking the same gesture and creating a different dimensions, right? A different dynamic to it so that it's different. And yet it is the same. It matches what your audience is hearing to what they're saying. You're matching what your audience is hearing to what they're saying. So now they have a visual to this concept that you're trying to communicate. Of course, you use your words. Of course, you use evidence, but it also helps to have a visual, and you can do that with your gestures. I'm at Red, going to wrap it up just to talk about a couple of things that we talked about. 3 planes, sagittal, horizontal, frontal, Airbus 380. Just kidding. Just checking to see if Robin's paying attention, which he is. Your gestures, 3D. Get it? 3D. I thought that was pretty good. You know, 3D because your gestures 3D. Okay, I'll try that a little bit later on in the Q&A and see if it's funnier then, okay? Direction. And then duration. And then dynamic. Putting those together, it allows you to create a gesture and use your body language to best impact your audience. Don't use all of it at one time. Just decide what you need to use. And now you have the different tools. Each of you has these tools. Each of you can use all of these. Just a matter of how you want to use it. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Percy. Yes, let's give him a big round of applause. Like how you have worked it out just now. I think Percy has definitely given us a lot of wonderful insights related to body language and inviting us to do it together. I think that's very beautifully done. So with that, I would like to pass on the session to distinguished Toastmaster Alicia to navigate through the AQ session. Over to you, Alicia.
Thank you very much, Sukwa, distinguished Toastmaster Sukwa. Did we all enjoy our session today with Thursday? Please unmute yourself and say yes on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes! Excellent.
Very much.
What an engaging presentation that Ferzi has delivered for us today. And to kickstart with the questions, Shui Sin has actually put a few in the chat, so we'll start with Shui Sin's questions. And the first question was, do we need to memorize every single word and gesture for the contest? Do we need to memorize every single word and question for the gesture? Thank you, Ferzi.
No, I think you ought to bring the script up there on stage with you. That's the best way. No. Absolutely. You know, there's a yes and a no to that. I think you have to know your script, and I think you have to know your gestures. everybody thinks of the word memorize in a slightly different way. I don't want to think of it as memorizing word for word, but I prefer to learn it. So that if something distracts you, if something throws you off your game, then you know where you're going and you get there how you need to get there. That can be tougher when English is your second language. But keep working at it. You'll get there.
Excellent. Thank you, Thursday. The second one was, where should we stand on the stage, at the front or in the middle? Which one is the best position and which one has the most impact? So I'll repeat that again. Where should we stand on the stage? In the front, in the middle, or the back? And which one is the best position and has the most impact? Thank you.
Design your movement. Design your movement on stage for maximum impact, same as designing where you look for maximum impact. That said, there is a science to the stage. Center stage closest to the audience, or in theater we call it down center, is the strongest part of the stage. But if you stay there the whole time, then it loses all its power. So you have to know where it's strongest. And then you can also be up center, that's away from the audience center, or even down right, that's your speaker's right, or all the way down left. In Western culture, down right is stronger than down left. That's because in Western culture, we read from right to left. From the audience's point of view, it's left to right, but from the speaker's position. So different cultures, that little nuance might be a little bit different, but for sure, down center is the strongest. What you want to do is allow yourself to move away from center for some other part of the speech. You find a way to justify moving that way. And then for the strongest lines you go down. Yeah, so there's a movement with it that goes center. In my semifinal speech, I had to find a way to go upstage for one part where I'm like, are you kidding? Why would we do this? And then I came down for the moment. So you have to find a way to go upstage in order to come downstage. Thanks, good question.
Thank you. So I'll ask you one personally. What is your favorite gesture that you like to deliver in a speech? Do you have a particular one that you have really orchestrated on the stage?
No, I don't have one particular gesture because I want to match it to what I'm saying. But I do have an inclination. When I had some people a couple of years ago helping me, I asked them to look at specific things. And I said to one person, just look at gestures. He goes, I don't know. I can't tell you much. I said, just watch my gestures and tell me what you see. And he said at the end, and this was brilliant because he thought he didn't know anything. He goes, I just noticed that you spend about 70% of your time on the right side, my right side of my body, 70% on the right, 30% on the left, or even less. And I went, oh my gosh, he's right. So in my speech where I had been doing this, I took one portion and I started off here to make sure that I was using both sides of my body. So I tend to favor my right.
Excellent. And do you find, is that because you're right-handed or you're left-handed?
I think it is because I'm right-handed. That's my guess. I just know that I tend to go that way. I tend to start my speeches here as like, oh, come on, Frizzy. You have to use this side so that the audience sees something different. Yeah, it's a matter of changing what the audience sees in the box. Not just Zoom box, but even live, they're looking at you through a box. Because we all grew up looking at a television or even a movie. Yeah, all the way back to Renaissance, picture frame. We're looking at people through a frame.
Excellent. Pam Holly asked, how do we adjust gestures for a larger room? So this would be for an in-person sort of speaking style. So if we're in person, how do we adjust our gestures for the larger room?
Great question. Use your 9s and your 10s when you need to. Not all the time. I don't think you have to live out here all the time, but I do think you have to remember that your elbows have to be away from your body. If you really want to create gestures that project confidence, you've got to move your elbows away from your body. Most times we keep them in, like as if we're taking body shots from Muhammad Ali. So we have to move our elbows out and be able to gesture, because even with the elbows out, we can come in, but you want to be able to do that. Here's another thing. Gesture to the back of the room, right? We want the back of the room to know that you're talking to them as well. And when we gesture sometimes to the back of the room, we do something instinctively, but we don't realize it. Here's how I talk to the back of the room. But what direction is my hand really pointing? Right? It's really pointing up. It's pointing diagonally up, not just up like this, but out. If I were really pointing at the back of the room, it'd be here. But we know from when we toss the ball, right? We know from when we toss an object, it has to have an arc. So we tend to throw it up there. And I would encourage you to consider that with your arms, with your hands, and your voice. So that if I want you to think about it, I'm doing this. Big space needs that. Smaller space does not.
Excellent. So I just want to add on further for that question, because I think that's a really good way of delivering. Do you use smaller gestures if you're at the front of the stage and the bigger ones if you're at the back and the larger portion of the stage?
Yes, I've done that. And partly one of the things you have to consider there is that if you make your gestures too small because you're at the front, then the back loses it. So I've also spoken softly, if I've got a mic, or project a whisper and add something to your gesture. So for example, if this is my gesture that I'm going to do, but I want to make sure people at the back of the room see me, then I can do this. It's like I'm adding something to it, right? This is really the focus, but I'm getting your attention and I'm bringing it here. I'm getting your attention and I'm bringing it here. That we need to remember the little guy. Yeah. And see how all of a sudden I can adjust. Like I looked at my hand on the camera. I go, you can't see my 2 fingers. Now you can see it. Contrast. Yes. So understand that you sometimes have to do weird things for people to get it. Like people go, Furzy, that's not the phone call nowadays. Yeah, but sometimes people can't see this. So you have to make it obvious.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the next question is actually one that also pivotally focuses on that as well. And that's eye contact. I think it's very different online versus in person. And Patricia actually asked a really good question. You just did it right then, coming up close and being very personal with the audience. If you're in a room with, say, 1,000 people in the audience, how can you actually use eye contact consistently from that big stage? I know, like when I've spoken in the things, I've used a particular structure. What do you do to ascertain the audience and to use the audience effectively with your eye contact?
Good question. It's interesting. I like to use a different phrase, and not just eye contact, but eye gestures, where you're using your eyes to actually induce an audience reaction. Yeah. I think eye contact is a very old phrase, and we don't think about our eyes as engaging an audience, especially nowadays, because everything's on a big screen. Everything's on a giant 40-foot screen behind me. So they're going to see that. If I'm teaching somebody who needs as much structure as possible, then I'll tell them, you stand over here and you look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you move to another side of the stage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you grid your audience and you can move in a pattern. You can go 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And so you can go ahead and move your eyes over your audience in a grid format. I wouldn't do that, but you can be very subtle about it. So that's one way to do eye contact. Another way to consider it is if you're in a really tight space, like many of our clubs, then look just right here. Look right at their forehead, their 5 head, or in my case, like a 7 head. So come on, that was funny. There you go, Elise. Thank you. Come on,
That's okay.
people. right? Or some people it's called a bus head, right? So look right here, look right above their head so that when they actually make eye contact with you, you don't freak out. Look right here. Now, there's another way to consider your eye contact, and that is to remember that they're watching your eyes, and so you can direct their eyes where you want it. So slow down your eyes and your face and let them follow your eyes, so that your eyes see things. You're not just looking at your audience, but you're using your eyes to have expression, and so that they're watching you. You know, does that make sense? That's a little bit more of a complicated thing, but you're letting your eyes express a certain emotion, and they're reading your eyes. You're not just making eye contact, but they're reading your eyes.
Excellent. Now, I am aware of time, and don't worry, it's not the World Championship of Public Speaking, so we do have a little bit more flexibility here. Sorry, Thursday, just had to say that one. I will point out one other, ouch, yes, ouch, but anyway. I will point out one other question that was in the chat, and I can answer a bit on that, and I'm sure some of the other people can answer, and Thursday can answer it. Is using a single finger considered rude? From a Western point of view in Australia and New Zealand, yes, you do not point at a person, you open hand gesture. And that will be my cue to Thursday. What would you say to that?
Depends which finger. No. I think part of it is also that a single finger is weak. It's a weak gesture. So consider that the single gesture is weak. The counting on your fingers is weak, almost like you can't count to 3. Come on, your audience doesn't need to know 1, 2, 3. Yeah, if you're going to go for it, go 1, 2, 3. You know, 1, 2, 3. But this is weak. This is weak. Yes, you can use your hand. And instead, consider what you're doing by pointing to your audience. If you're pointing to your audience saying, hey, I want you to listen, then there's probably a stronger way to do that. Start with the shoulders, extend the hands. I want you to listen. I want you to listen because this is an important message and you're important to me. So don't treat your audience as a receptacle for information. Engage your audience because they're important to you and pull them into the discussion. Like you're whispering to them right from here, and you're talking to them and you're bringing your head in like you're going to hug them if you could. Yeah. I think if you consider what your intent is and that your audience is your partner in this discussion, we're rarely going to point at people.
Excellent. So, because I can see the red light and we won't fail on the timing on this occasion, I'm now going to hand over to Sister Pat, who is now going to take us through the awards part of our program today. And then we will come back very shortly for even ask more questions from Thursday. Keep putting your questions into the chat. I'm now going to hand conduct of the meeting back to Sister Pat, our president. Thank you, Sister Pat. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Alicia. I'm accepting your baton now. Right now, we are going to unmute ourselves. And thank you so much, Alicia, for leading us the FAQ session. And more so, we want to acknowledge our appreciation, our love to Furzy Go Taco. And I'd like to invite all of you to please unmute yourself and just utter the 3 very important words. Thank you, Furzy. I love Furzy. Okay, 6 words all together. Okay, let's do it right now on a solid 5 seconds. Whenever you're ready, please unmute yourself. Thank you, Furzy. I love Furzy. 3, 2, 1.
Thank
Bye.
you.
I love
Thank
Furzy.
you.
I love you.
Love you.
Furzy.
Thank you so much.
Furzy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Furzy. So we're going to give more Malaysian and Asian kind of applause and appreciation later. But before that, I just want to check with our Zoom master. Sean, are you ready with the certificate of acknowledgement and also appreciation?
Okay, just wait a moment.
Yes. While waiting, why not? Now give Furzy 3 solid second. Round of applause starts from 3, 2, 1. Great. Thank you so much. So we are really, really lucky and privileged because I learned a lot. And from the chat box, I know all of us learned so much. And because of that, we are so happy, Fergie. So thank you once again for being here, sharing with us the power of body language. You took us to a different space for sure on how we can really embrace the power of body language. So Sean, whenever you're ready, help us to take a photo.
Okay,
Fergie, yes, live on Zoom.
just a moment.
Yes.
And 1, 2, 3. Just another one.
Yes, another one.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you. Let's move to the next slide. I'm going to ask all of you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask you to demonstrate a facial expression or body gesture that you really like later when we take the photo later. So officially, we want to thank Fergie as the guest speaker with the power of body language. And we're so honored to have you to close our masterclass for the year 2024. I can see, Sri Sin, you're now practicing, okay? Okay, let's get serious now and take a very serious photo. Kindly spotlight Fergie and myself. Professional and serious.
1, 2, 3. Oh, it's something trouble. Just another. Wait a moment.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my face
1,
broke.
2, 3. Okay.
Fantastic. Moving on, we want to acknowledge all the role players. I have a treat for all of you. Please imitate Fergie's expression on the on his posture. Try to imitate how Fergie pose. Yeah. All the role players. Sean, you'll be spotlighted. Patricia, Sokwar, Suisin, Alicia.
I cannot, and I cannot do that. Someone can help me. Suisin, can you help me?
Okay, or let me see who can help us. Patsy, can you help us? Yes, Patsy, can you help us to take the photo?
Sure.
Okay,
Are you ready?
please
you ready?
imitate the Fergie's pose.
Okay, I'm gonna go count down. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Thank you. Great.
Good.
This one good.
It's so fun. Okay, now it's everybody's turn. Everyone, all right? All our esteemed guests, esteemed members, and esteemed guests from all over the world. Okay, what pose you want to do? I would like you to exercise your eye gesture. I like Fergie mentioned that, hey, not just eye contact, but eye gesture. And also I want to see your hand, okay? So just pick a free pose that exudes your happiness. Yeah, whatever you want to, okay? We'll take a group photo of everyone. Okay, this is the time for you to go very crazy. Okay? All right. So on my count, I'm going to take the photo. That is so cool. 3, 2, 1. Okay, hang on. And I also need, okay, hold on. Not yet. Okay, another one. Okay, that's another page. Continue. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we just love taking photo. Okay, this is a standard. Alicia would love this. We do an RBF pose. You know what RBF mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yes.
follow Fergie, okay? Let's do an RBF. No smile, resting B face. You know what it means. 3, 2. Hey, Sean, can you up? I cannot see. Yeah, that is good. Perfect. Full face. 3, 2, 1. One more time on another page. If you can on your camera. 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much for being our amazing, amazing audience. All the photos are captured, will be shared later on our Facebook page as well. Okay, get ready. Well, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have Ferzi, and I do understand a lot of you have more questions. We just want to send our warmest greetings to all of you for having a great time ending your year 2024. On top of that, we also wish you Happy New Year for the new year. But I know there are a lot of questions coming in, so I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. Our Masterclass 2024, The Power of Body Language, is officially adjourned.